Hello everyone, this is Lucy and I'm just doing a VR to Sylvia at Fairlight Tarot channel. She has created a tag called Beloved Monster Decks and I thought, oh, I might join in on that one too. I've been watching everybody else's and I thought, oh, I better do it now before the world turns into November, before the calendar flips across to November. Even though it's November here in Australia, it's probably the 31st somewhere in the world. So happy Halloween, everyone. The first prompt on this tag is Frankenstein decks. What Frankenstein decks do I have that are collage but are misunderstood, but have a heart of gold? And for that one, I have chosen the Cosmic Tarot of the Cosmic Seed. This is a collage deck. It's beautiful, but I think it's a little bit misunderstood. I don't see it very much on the YouTube or in the Facebook communities. It's lovely coloration. It can be pip, but it also can be scenic as well. So, and it's quite diverse for a modern collage deck. And it was one of my favorite decks of 2022. There's a Oracle that's come out, a sister deck to this one this year. So this is a very pretty deck. Look at this. 10 of Swords with the Scorpion. So it has snakes, and I think it has a spider somewhere in the deck. So it's a little bit misunderstood. But it does have a heart of gold. I had some really nice readings with it last year. I haven't used it so much this year because I've had other decks arrive in its place. But very colourful, very pretty. And it's a collage deck with a heart of gold. And that's the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed. Lovely box, if you're into boxes. And there's the werewolf with the moon. So I could have used this for the next prompt. The werewolf prompt. So prompt number 2, Dracula. Well, I have 3 Dracula decks, but I ended up deciding to go with a Tarot de Marseille deck. Look at the font on this box. Isn't that classic Dracula font, don't you think? This is a French deck. Oh, I'm not this is a French deck, and it's big, and it's not fitting on here very well. Let me move some of these candles so I can put this deck down. There we go. It's a French deck, and it's sophisticated Tarot de Marseille. It's a modern Tarot de Marseille, but it's black, and I think it just reeks Dracula. Look at that. So isn't this guidebook brilliant? I mean, she could be one of those ladies that are Dracula. So let's have a look at the cards. This is by Matthew Hackey and Justine Turnell. This is the second edition, and there's a story behind the editions, but we won't go into that. There's the edging, and there's the cards. Now, they're sophisticated, they're large, look at that. They're large, but so beautiful. So beautiful. So this is Tarot Noir, the Black Tarot. And I had to have a Tarot de Marseille in my collection to show you tonight. And look at the face on the Queen. Let me see if I can get some majors. So there's the minors, there's the back. Even the back looks like a poisonous flower that comes from Romania. So have I got, here are the cups. There we go, there's the La Pape. Look at the moon, La Moon. La Moon. So Dracula, a deck that's sensual and sophisticated. Well, I think this is sensual, even if it is a Tarot de Marseille. And I think it's very sophisticated. Very sophisticated. Look at the Death card. I must use this deck too. Oh, I've got so many decks that I don't get to use them all at once. Can't use them all at once. So here's the hermit. Isn't he lovely? A lovely hermit. Le Hermite. So very sophisticated Tarot de Marseille deck. A modern one, but still a TDM. There's the star. Pretty deck, pretty deck. So that's my Dracula deck. What do you think of that one? Different, hey? So I'll just put him out of the way and we can move on. I was going to show the Bohemian Gothic, but that's too obvious, so we won't do that one. So the werewolf deck had to be my runic tarot. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the Viking. Now this deck has beautiful artwork, and it's a mass market deck, a low Scarabeo deck, and it's by Jack Sephiroth, Alan Dempster, and Jamie Elford. I think Jamie Elford did the guidebook. So this, I think, is a classic werewolf deck. In fact, it does have a werewolf in it, and it's a deck to be used in the full moon. Well, I would use this deck under the full moon. The Emperor. Let's see if we can find the werewolf. Hangman. And because I've just come back from Norway, this is a favourite deck of mine at the moment because of the myths and legends of the Vikings. Oh, look at that. There's a werewolf. There's a few in here, I think. There's some werecats. Is there such a thing as werecats? And for me, this is a classic werewolf deck. I think there is another one with a nice moon. And all the blood and gore of the period. So, look at the Hermit. So, this is a readily available deck if you're interested. Look at the strength, isn't that lovely? The bear, a polar bear at that. A polar bear. There's the death card. Just trying to find the moon. I'm probably past it. And yep, I've gone past the moon. This is down in here. That's the one. There it is. There's the werewolf. Look at that for justice. Classic werewolf. The devil and temperance. We'll end on temperance. Isn't she beautiful? So that's the Runic Tarot, printed by Lo Scarabeo, and you pick it up at any bookstore or online. So that's number 3. Number 4 is the Grim Reaper deck, a deck that feels very final. I was going to do the Tarot de Marseille, but I'm not sure if I'll do that one now. So what deck feels very final? I have to think about it. Let me see my bookshelf. A deck that feels very final would have to be the Marigold Tarot. I've just been using this one recently in the monthly medicine challenges. So it's full of skeletons. How final can you get? It's a pretty deck too. It's just got the 3 colors, white, black and gold. The edging is black, and it's by Amrit Brer, the Marigold Tarot. So you can still buy this on Etsy. So you couldn't get more final than that justice, could you? So I was using this during my Weaver's monthly medicine, and I had a different deck for each week, and this was week 3. I used this deck. And it's a Grim Reaper deck for sure. Grim Reaper. Eeks Grim Reaper. Look at the Ace of Cups. That's the brains of a skull. Strength. So in fact, I think Death is the Grim Reaper in this deck. I've probably gone past it. Here's the backs. Got a marigold on the back. He looks like a Grim Reaper. So the swords and knives, and the marigolds are pentacles. He looks like a Grim Reaper too. So is the Hierophant. So I got some deep readings with this particular deck. It really cuts to the core, just like a Grim Reaper. So that's the Marigold Tarot. That's number 4. Number 5, a creature from the Black Lagoon, a deck that loves water but's not afraid of getting dirty. So for that one, I've picked a 78 tarot, the nautical edition. And the reason I picked this is because it has 78 artists in one nautical deck. It's a global art collaboration, and it was Katie, I think Katie did she coordinated it. Katie, I can't remember her name. She just wrote to me recently on email. Let's see. So the book is by Trish Sullivan, but on each card it will have the artist's name. So for instance, Stephanie Pullman Law did the Fool. So it has a different flavour for each of the cards. So for that reason I've chosen this deck, because it loves water, because it's the nautical deck, and it's not afraid of that getting gritty and dirty. So you might know some of the artists. No, I got this second hand, so I haven't old with the Hangman. I haven't used it yet. It's just been waiting to be used. I could have used it for a monthly medicine, but I might for January, because January is our summer. There's the Tower. So it's got a different flavour for each card. There's no consistency in the deck. So some people might find that annoying. But some people absolutely love the 78 tarot decks. There's quite a few of them now. I've got 2. I think that's enough for me. So that's a deck that loves water and is not afraid of getting dirty. So the 78 tarot, the tarot of the water. So I'll pop that way. So number 6, the Freddy Krueger deck, and for that I've chosen the Banksy Tarot. and because it's a scruffy deck, but it has a terrifying sense of humour. Well, it has a sarcastic sense of humour. Anyone who knows Banksy know that it's been signed by the creator, and I haven't even opened this one, so we're going to look at it together. So this is the Banksy Tarot. I don't know if you can still get it. I got my copy off Etsy. It's got red gilding. There's the backs. And if you know the art of Banksy, it's quite blunt. As it says on the front of the deck, fuck this imperial bullshit. The Magician, tourist information. So it has a little underlying meaning behind each of the cards. Oh, look at the Hierophant in a dress, the Pope in a dress, the lovers. Two large looking people with a little person pulling the chariot. Yes, so there's sarcasm and hidden meaning behind each of the cards. And Banksy's been in Kiev in Ukraine doing art on buildings. I don't know if you've seen any of his art that he's painted in Ukraine, but it's quite sarcastic, let's say. So, yeah, this is my Freddy Krueger deck. My choice for Freddy Krueger. Look at the tower with King Kong. So I haven't used this set. This is just one of my collected, part of my collection. Yep, that's the world for you at the moment. Interesting deck, don't you think? Don't think it follows right away very well. The 8 of buckets, she's throwing up all the hearts. 9 of buckets. Sister of buckets. Brother of buckets. Mama of buckets. Papa of buckets. Yeah, this is how I feel at the moment. I see human, but no humanity. Ace of spray cans. Anyway, so that's my Freddy Krueger deck. A scruffy deck that has a terrifying sense of humour. Well, I had to open the deck just to share it with you guys. Next one, the Chucky deck. Well, I don't have that doll with the big googly eyes, but the closest one I could find would be the Dark Mansions. And it said, a doll-like deck that may stab you in the back Well, it looks quite placid on the outside. Looks quite placid. This is Taroko Studio, first edition I got. And it looks doll-like and cartoon-like, but if you were to use this deck, it would stab you in the back. It would tell you exactly what you need to hear without any punches. Doesn't pull any punches at all, this deck. You think it's quite placid and fun, but when you use it in a reading, it'll tell you what you need to hear. Look at Judgment. And the Devil. So, yep, this is my Chucky deck. I didn't know what Chucky meant until I had to look it up. I believe there was a movie that had Chucky dolls in it that went around stabbing people. That's my understanding of the term Chucky. Well, I'd say this deck does that. It tells you to your face what you need to hear. So this, yeah, see, that's a googly-eyed person. So is this one, Two of Pentacles, googly eyes. Yes, so this is my Chucky deck, the Dark Mansion, the Moon. So that's my number 7. Number 8 is the Zombie deck. Oh, what did I pick for Zombie? What did I pick for the Zombie? I think was this one. I think I picked this one. And this is the Goetia Tarot by Lo Scarabeo. It's a Fabio Listrani Tarot in Darkness, the Goetia. And I've got the special edition that has the cloth and the large cards that are not going to show up well on this, and all the coins at the bottom. So I'll just pop the deck away. There's the book, that's how big it is. And this is all the dark spirits, all the dark angels. I wonder if this will come up. There's the sides, there's the back. So this is my Zombie Tarot, an airy deck that is hungry for brains. Well, you really need to study the guidebook on this one to learn the attributes. So you have your numbers, your tarot attribution, your planetary attribution, your zodiac attribution, and your esoteric tarot. So you've got to learn your dark angels. So, and I'd say they're hungry for your brains too. So let's see if you can see this in this light. It's going to be very glossy. So there's a castle in there. This is wands. This is the 3 of wands. So there's the 3. It's this one. So as you can see, that's the tower. I haven't used this deck. It's another collection. It's part of my collection. My small limited collection. This is the Five of Pentacles. So it's very glossy cardstock. Very glossy. I might not show you all these because it is so glossy. Look at this one. They're the Lovers. So maybe if I look at the guidebook, it might help. So there's a light version, the angels comes in white. This is the dark, these are the dark angels. Yeah. So if we go to, so this really needs a really good study. Let's see, number 6. Anyway. Anyway, that is my zombie tarot, because you really need to study it, and it's very airy because it's full of angels, be it that they're dark angels. So that's my zombie tarot. The next prompt is number 9, the Pennywise, the Clown, a deck that is deceivingly whimsical but is actually very intense. And for that, I'm going to go with Carnival at the End of the World. I've had this for a long time now, and it's by, I can't pronounce that. They've done a recent deck called The Drowning World. This is their first deck, Carnival at the End of the World. So being a Carnival tarot deck, I picked this for my Pennywise the Clown. But it might look whimsical, but it's actually very intense when you study it. And it comes with a good guidebook separate to the deck. Look at the High Priestess. Eight of Cups. So it doesn't follow Rider-Waite. So you could actually say this could be an airy deck as well, because you have to study it to understand it. The Four of Cups. He's upside down, not the cups. Yeah. So this is a Carnival deck. And I can honestly say I don't use it either, because you have to really think about what it is you're getting. But there are many, many who love this deck and find it very, very intense. Oh. Have I been chopping that off? I'm so sorry. So I got this in 2018. I think it came out in 2018. And I did a swap with a friend. And then we swapped back, and then I sold it to another friend, and brought it back when she'd finished with it. So it's been in and out of my collection a number of times. And because of that, I'm not going to part with it. One day I might use it. So that's the Carnival at the End of the World. Bit of a dark, gloomy deck. And very intense when you study it with the guidebook. So that's number 9, the Pennywise, the Clown. The last one is the Mummy deck. So for that, I've decided to go with the Lilifer. I was going to go with Outgrow Yourself because it has many layers, but this particular version is new. This is the gold edition, and it has many layers. You've got to know what the colors mean. You've got to know what the animal means. You've got to know your astrological signs mean, your elemental signs. It has so much meaning in each of the cards. And the colors themselves in the cards mean something. The animals in the cards mean something. So you really need to study this deck in depth. And I had the first edition and I worked with it for a little while and then sold it because I knew this one was coming out. And I wanted it because the first edition didn't have the numbers on the minors. They weren't numbered. So you had to work out. Well, it was even harder. You had to work out what the cards were. Same with Outgrow Yourself. It's not numbered either. So you got to count the flowers in the cards, which makes it very difficult. And the cardstock on this is lovely. I only got this in October, so it's got the numbers down here now. But you still need to know your elements. You still need to know your astrological signs. You still need to know. You need to know the colours and the animals, and so it's a study deck. It is a study deck, but it's a lovely deck. So that, and the backs are lovely. Look at the backs, aren't they nice? So that's the Lilifer deck. See, it's still in order. And it comes with a guidebook, a proper guidebook this time, whereas it was a pamphlet in the first edition. So, oh look at the bottom of the box. So that's the Lilifer Tarot. So I hope you enjoyed my pick. I tried to keep it different and to not to have too many Halloween particular decks. I don't think, did I put a Halloween deck in? I don't think I did this time. How about that? Anyway, many blessings from Lucy. Catch you next time. Au revoir.